Hi Danielle, how you doing? So I've got you up here, your work, and let's go ahead and get started. Now I want to just mention that the videos that I put in here. I know that you and Sam are really being active in the class, and I hope you guys are looking into each other's posts and looking at each other's videos. And wish you had a chance to do that because there's a lot of things here that were mentioned to Sam a couple of days ago. So I think we could have saved you a repost. But there's some things here that I want you to think about, okay? And I think they're going to make sense. And if you take a look at Sam's videos as well, it'll be a more review of the same thing, maybe that will help solidify things. But basically, I think that the idea here is that you have your designer's logo, so to speak, right here. And I think it's great. I do. I think Danielle Kimberly Sullivan, graphic designer on the side, I think that's a nice little typographic composition, and I think it's enough to hold, to really hold together the glue of the branding, as it were, so to speak. Okay, so that said, I want to mention that now keep in mind that your resume should be placed on your letterhead. Okay, so this wouldn't be a standalone document. It wouldn't be designed alone. This would be put on your letterhead. As such, presumably in your letterhead, you're going to have your logo up here in the corner somewhere. Okay, and then your location, mobile, your other information is going to be across the bottom. That way, you can repurpose this thing as many different times as you want, including, if it comes down to using this for your first freelance jobs, you can put your invoices right on this letterhead. Okay, so what you would want to do is design your letterhead first. Okay, so we go to branding, and we see that what we have here is a resume, business card, sample sheet, and that's for personal identity. I think this is really, really super important. And if we go over here and take a look at this guy, we can see personal identity, resume on letterhead. Okay, so, and then a business card and a sample sheet. So what I'm looking for a designer stationery. So I think that you need to design your logo, then your letterhead, then your business card, then your letterhead, then your envelope, your number 10 envelope, okay? That's called your stationery, spelled with an E. Once you're done with that, again, that's the letterhead, the logo, the business card, and the envelope, okay? Then go back and design your resume on your letterhead, okay? Right now, all this right here is just it's too distracting from the meat of the matter, and that's your information. So you don't want to dilute the information on your resume. Now, I'm not saying you can't design your resume. I'm saying that right now, let's just learn the basics before we start designing anything. And then that basics is getting your logo to be able to stand alone on a letterhead. My suggestion, again, is to place the logo up top to the left and just go straight down to the bottom and put your contact information across the bottom like that. I think that's the most versatile way to go with the letterhead. Now, from there, I think that, we'll get into the content next week. So I'm not really even going to comment on that because you guys really haven't even taken a look at that yet. But I do want to mention that in the classroom, if you go to the announcements area, you can see that I put a couple of announcements in there that are for this upcoming week 7 and 8. So that's your tips on writing your cover letter and ultimate graphic design resume tip sheet. So you can take a look at that just to get a jump start on what's going on for next week on your cover letter and your resume. So anyways, and then this right here, honestly, Danielle, this is just so overdone. And you know what? I described this to Sam also. So basically, I've always looked at it like this. Okay, so your tank is half full on Dreamweaver. So that means you're to me, a hiring professional, I look at this and I go, what does that mean? It doesn't really, are you halfway good at Dreamweaver or 50% close to what you want to be? Or What is 100% if you're at 50? You see what I'm saying? It's just say what you're proficient in. I think that's just much, much better. Much better way to go. Okay. So, and that's just really overdone. And now we move to your business card. Okay. And I just want to mention that I did mention this to Sam as well. I think this is overdone. I do. I think that using black and white is a very, very stark choice. It's almost aggressive. And that's fine in particular situations. I don't think it's fine in this situation where you're introducing yourself to the hiring design community, as it were. I think that we need to use a little more subtlety here. And I think you've got a lot of subtlety in your design work. So I don't think this is really branding you in the right direction. I think that this is more pointing towards a very aggressive designer. Do you see what I'm saying? The word create on the back of your business card, just really, really super overused, overdone. So think about that. Now what you'll want to do is in the presentation of your stationery, you're going to do your business card front and back along with the letterhead and the envelope. Okay, so don't forget those. All right, your personal identity sample sheet. This is looking pretty good. Hey, listen, is there any chance of putting this piece in Photoshop and running a levels adjustment just to bring out some of the detail? I just think it's too dark. I really do. I think that bringing out some of this, I mean, I'm not talking about changing meaning. I'm just talking about bringing out a little bit of detail so that we can kind of tell a little bit more of what's going on at that size. Think about it. Anyways, so these are good. I think the best way to show your sample sheet is something where you're showing your portfolio and you show your sample sheet and your identity, and the viewer wants to go. The viewer is going to look at this sample sheet and go, okay, either I want to see more or I've seen enough. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think it's really best to do some of your presentation work that you've done, like that for your logo, in your sample sheet. This is great. That belongs in your sample sheet. So I'm not real sure how you're going to handle that. Put that right in your sample sheet. It belongs as a mock-up, because if I see that, and I'm speaking, when I say I'm speaking as a hiring professional. I see that magazine, I'm like, wow, I want to see more. When I see this, I'm like, oh, ad, okay, let's move on. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think presentation is really super, super important there. That should be your piece for the poster. Sorry I'm spinning around like this. I'm probably getting you dizzy. For that piece. Okay, so get these mocked up like this. I think it would be the best way to go. Get that in a magazine, get that on a wall, and get that in a CD case, and we'll be in business. This is pretty cool. And I think pieces like this, it's pretty cool. I think it shows the versatility of that as a logo. And now you're showing it in red here, and look at how much more dynamic it looks. I'm not saying use red, Danielle. I'm saying make your own decision. But in red, look how much more dynamic it is than in black. Just a world of difference. It's just so much more elegant. Okay, so electives. All right, I don't know what this is. Is this a poster? If it is, just put a hairline stroke around the edges of the poster and tell us what it is. It says typeface design, but it doesn't say poster, or is it a web banner? You see what I'm saying? So we don't know what that is. This piece looks good. Good mock-up. Great mock-up. Very, very good there. Interesting. These look good, and I get what you're going. I get where you're going here. I just don't think this is the way to do it. And then the reason being is because, as I said, a hiring professional is going to look at this. Your average Joe is going to look at this and go, oh, yeah, hey, that looks pretty cool. Your drawings are in the newspaper. But your hiring professional is going to look at this and say, I wonder why this designer didn't choose to render out this layout themselves and place the work with an appropriate type type wrap, text wrap. Do you see what I'm saying? So right now it just looks basically like you just pasted those over the newspaper. All right, so keep that in mind. I mean, some people will buy into it. Professional designers won't. They're going to read right through it, say, I wonder why you did that. You missed an opportunity to design a layout here and place your spot illustrations. Okay? This piece is great. I love this piece. I think this piece is great. But again, what is it? Is it a poster? Is it a postcard? What is it? What is the intent of the piece? Okay? All right, now these templates I think are, and I want you to take a look at something here, Danielle. Oh boy, I'm at 10:29. I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to give you another video about the actual template pages and your background pages for your portfolio. Okay, thanks.